Hi, all. It's June, like the month. And today I want to talk about the fact that all entrepreneurs, all creators, all need to know this one skill and do it really well in order to scale. And that is delegation. Somehow we kind of struggle with this sometimes, especially as entrepreneurs who are so used to being independent and doing everything alone. And I get it, right? Now we have all of the tools to access all of the knowledge. So why should I give up any resources or pay somebody else in order to do the things that I could do myself? I get it. But it's only when you truly can trust in bringing somebody on board and to have somebody as part of your team that truly allows you to access and unlock that next level. I was asked, how can creatives master the art of delegating tasks effectively and prioritizing their responsibilities and avoiding the trap of micromanagement? Now, as a solo entrepreneur and anybody who is in business, you get used to only relying on yourself since you're already wearing all of those hats. But what you need to really do is some sort of time audit to really analyze, okay, what is it that all of my time is actually going towards? What am I spending my hours on? And does that really need and require me? In the Eisenhower matrix that I use to understand what kind of tasks are important versus urgent, it's very clear on when it's important and it actually requires my genius zone in order to do and have the right kind of outcome or the right kind of output. It's the type of work that you can't delegate to somebody else because they can't have the same creative eye as you. But as an example, for anything that you need to publish on social media, that is something that doesn't actually require you to hit publish on. It's about figuring it out and really segregating those tasks out to understand, okay, cool, these are the areas and these are the things that truly require myself. And then these are just not. And I can actually outsource that task and get somebody else in to use that so that I can reclaim that time back to focus on the things that I really enjoy. And by doing so, that's going to produce a lot more creative output, a lot more great work. Make sense? There needs to be a recognition of the fact that you need to let go. The awareness of understanding that it is not important for you to do yourself is the first part. And we come across this a lot, especially when you're hiring your first person. But you cannot assume that you can do it faster. Even though that it might be true for now, it doesn't mean that it has to be true the entire way through. Meaning you should really take the time to train up another person to tell them your skill set or share with them or train them how to actually do a certain task. Maybe you create an SOP, maybe you create a loom that videos the entire process of how you do it so that somebody else can take on that task and take it off your plate. Now, you might feel like this training process and sharing it with somebody else might take you time. But if you think about it, all of the moments that you spend on doing this again and again end up compounding. And because they end up compounding and you're just so used to doing it yourself that you can't trust somebody else to do it for you, that in turn, in the long run, actually does affect you, even though it doesn't feel like it right now. So being aware that this will create a return on your time, that's so key. And knowing is the first step. Allowing yourself to understand, okay, it's really necessary for me to actually delegate this out. That's going to be good for you. So that's the first step. So next up, I would break down some of the tasks that you can outsource out, right? Find out part of what is in your project that you can delegate to somebody else and start letting them do that. Go slowly, but start to delegate out things that you didn't even think you could ask somebody else to do. I think there's a discomfort in that in itself because you're so used to just not asking for help and being so independent that it feels odd to rely on somebody else, but it's definitely a feeling that you need to start getting used to as a business person. Cool. I think the most important piece to feeling like you can trust somebody and delegating out is actually really in the finding the person and the right kind of person. You've truly got to align with somebody who you want to bring on, and they really have to share this vision with you for your business. And I would say that whenever you're hiring anybody, I think attitude over knowledge is actually so much more important, because if they have the behavior of somebody who really cares about you and your business, then they're going to make a lot more effort and they're going to be much more keen to support rather than somebody who's just there for the wrong reasons. That's really important because it's knowledge is trainable, but attitude, you can't really train that. So that's an important thing to look for when you're hiring somebody as well. And part of having somebody to come on, that experience in itself, I think, is difficult because you then have to start learning how to manage. You have to start learning how to lead and become a leader on top of running your business. And that in itself, because we're working in relationships and you have, interactions with different humans, you've got to understand empathetically as well what's going on in their human life, right? It has to make sense for you and it has to feel good because you want to make and create a great team culture. But you've also got to, some days some people won't be at their very best. And when they do maybe mess up or not do the thing, you've also got to have some empathy or to understand, okay, where did this go wrong and why did it go wrong? How can I enable you or how can I make it easier for you to do your job? The other piece to this from that human element of having a team is to really understand somebody else's strengths, somebody else's weaknesses, somebody else's like joys. One of the things that I ask whenever I am onboarding anybody into the team or hiring in is, what is your favorite part? Like, what is your favorite part of marketing? What is the most interesting thing to you in business? Because when I know what they are most intrigued by, then I can also encourage them through the type of work that I delegate to them. If, for example, let's say I'm working with a graphic designer who really enjoys creating graphics and carousels, and they're not really somebody who loves editing moving images. As long as I ensure that I am feeding their needs as well and I'm allocating kind of work that ticks the boxes for them, then that will make sure that they also feel fulfilled and feel happy about what they're working on. Cool. I think it's extremely important for any creator, any entrepreneur, any business owner to really understand how to delegate. I know that I am big on AI and using and leveraging tools and systems, but it's your team and it's being able to really lead that allows you to really take the next step. And it's an important piece for anybody to shift into that delegation mindset, which will allow so much more growth in business. Being able to delegate is one of those skills that will allow your business to grow and it becomes more sustainable that way because you only have so many hours in a day. And of course, we have already learned that you cannot always, for the longest time, only trade your time and your hours for dollars because that is limited. So, this is super key in figuring out how to really be effective and efficient with your time so that you can reclaim that time back so that you can actually focus on your business and not in your business. Cool. I hope that was helpful, guys. If you like the vibe, please subscribe. I'm Janae, and I hope you have an amazing day. Ciao. Bye.